Hello there. How are you this morning? Are you all right together? Good. You just caught me. I was then finishing off rinsing out my water system. Yeah, I used this stuff. Look, I soaked it all night in Purely Clean. I'm now going to rinse it back out. I've noticed there's some bits in my drinking water, and you don't want that if you can help it. You ain't careful, you can get all sorts of stuff growing inside your pipes, and you don't want that at all. Trust me. So, yeah, I tell you what. Why don't we have a chat about water this week? Where I get it from and how I make it last once I've got it. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Because people often ask me about that. Tell you what, you go away for a minute or two. I'll get finished off here, and when I come back, we'll have a little chat. How's that then? That'd be all right? Right then, see you in a minute. My day go. Ah, right then, you're back. Well, water. Why don't we do a bit about water this week, eh? Because that's precious old stuff, water. And despite the fact we live on an island, we're surrounded by seas and rivers and lakes in the UK, and that rains about every other day. Actually, water's quite hard to come by if you're a van lifer. You've got to work at it a little bit. So, yeah, let's chat about it. Let's have a little chat where I get it from and how I make it last once I've got it, all that kind of thing. Because people are always asking me about water and where I find it when I'm a van lifer. So we'll do a little bit about it for you. How about that then, hey? Right then, without further ado, oh, don't forget, if you enjoy this week's, just tap them little buttons down the bottom. I'd appreciate that. Right then, without further ado, we'll crack on and I'll show you all about water, how I get it, how I make it last. All right then, we'll speak to you in just a little while. Right, first things first, how I carry my water about. I use these 25-litre water containers. Ever so easy to get, buy them from any builders merchants. Not a lot of money, 15, 20 quid each. I have two of these, so I can have one that I'm pumping water out of, my nice simple plumbing system, and one that's ready to go on, that's got water in it. Then when I empty them, swap them over, this one's ready to refill. So where do I refill them? And that's why I use these. If I refill them in public taps, in cemeteries and places like that, that's ever so easy. Look, put this on this trolley. Excuse the state of it. I've had it years and I'm still doing well. Got it cheap from Aldi. I can wheel this in there. I can fill it up and I can wheel it back. And the trolley saved my back. I ain't got to carry this thing, you see. So, yeah, that's what I do for water. Put them in these water containers. Brilliant little idea. You see? Right then, on to the next bit. Right, while you just watch this little video of me filling up my water container, I'll have a chat to you about some of the aspects of getting water. As you can see, look, using my little trolley make life much easier. I can just wheel my container into the cemetery here and use the public tap that's in here. Makes it much easier. Now, as I just mentioned, these are public taps. Despite being in a cemetery, you don't have to use the water for watering flowers. And because this water comes from mains and it's mains fed, I know that it's alright to drink. I can tell this is off a water main because it's in the middle of the town, and you get good water pressure, and that water runs cold very quickly, which means it's coming from underground. And as you can see, I just run a little bit off into one of them watering cans so somebody else can use it, just to flush out any old water that's left in the standpipe. Now, this is a cemetery close to where I stay. So I know it gets used regularly, this tap, so it's always being run through. But if you're not sure, that's worth running a tap and just making sure it runs clear and cold and whatever else, and that don't come out all muddy and brown and horrible. And of course, if you're not sure about a tap and you're not sure if it's safe to drink, then don't drink it. Go somewhere else and get water you can trust. If you can help it, don't drink water that you think has come from a water tank, because you've no idea what else might be floating in that tank. Although, to be honest, very little water comes from water tanks nowadays. But if there's a sign that says not drinking water, take heed of that and don't use it. The same applies to public loos if you go into one of those to get water. If they're those mixer taps or you're not sure where the water's coming out from, then I wouldn't bother. I'd use a different tap. Another point to remember is that these taps are public. Don't be using taps on businesses like garages or factories or anything unless you've asked their permission first. And definitely don't be stealing water out of somebody's tap on the outside of a house. That's a big no-no. Somebody had to pay for that water, you know. I'm nearly full here now by the look of it. Look, make sure you switch the tap off and don't leave any of your fittings behind if you take some in there. And always leave the place clean and tidy the way you found it. Don't be knocking stuff about and making a mess and leaving taps running, because you'll just make us unpopular if you do that. I'm going to be walking back to my van in a second now with my 25 litres of water. Please excuse the US Air Force you can hear flying in the background. Because I'm from around here, I don't tend to take much notice of them, but some people do. Right, I'll walk that back to the van. I tell you what, I'll show you a few of the sort of taps you're likely to find in these places, shall I? That'd be a good idea. These taps here, look, these are all in different cemeteries and stuff. You can find all manner of taps, and they're generally dotted about in cemeteries, so they're easy enough to find. And like I say, they're public taps, so that's public water that you're free to use. This is like a little tap kit that I carry in the van with me. That's about 3 foot of hose there with a coupler on it. And then you can see there's all manner of little adapters and stuff in the middle. The one on the right at the top, that'll go onto a round tap. And the big one on the left there, that'll fit on like a square mixer tap. And there's some brass ones in the middle that thread onto threaded taps and things. So I've got all sorts there. These are the sort of taps you'll find in public loos, though take care of the mixer type taps, because you're never sure if you'll be getting water from a hot water tank as well, which you don't want. You see this more nowadays in public loos. If you look, that bottom of that tap is angled. That's been done so that you can't put any kind of connector on there, so you can't get water from there. That's turning into quite a common trick nowadays. Now, if you really are unsure about a tap, but you're forced to use it and you can't go somewhere else and get water from somewhere else, it is possible to sterilise drinking water using a drop of Milton fluid. I found you want about 12-13 millilitres into 25 litres of water. Put the Milton in first and then run the water on the top. And if you leave that a little while, that'll sterilise drinking water. Now, for all this talk of getting water out of cemeteries and public loos and whether they're safe to drink and all the rest of it just put you off, you can always go to a supermarket and you can buy bottled water. You can buy the big old bottles out of a lot of the supermarkets nowadays. Now, there are a couple of downsides to this, of course. To start with, the stuff's expensive. That costs a fortune if you're going to buy the water you need to drink every day and every week out of a supermarket. And not only that, would you believe bottled water doesn't go through as many checks as mains tap water? It might only be checked once in a while. It's not necessarily as good. And you're going to get stuck with a lot of plastic bottles, of course, and you're going to have to find a way of getting rid of them and throwing them away, which I'm told ain't good for the old environment. You'll be filling up the landfill sites unless you can find somewhere to recycle them. So personally myself, I don't buy drinking water out of supermarkets. I've been drinking water out of cemeteries and public loos now for 3.5 years, and that ain't killed me yet, boys, so I'm alright for the time being. So yeah, not an option I take, but one you can. I'll show you how my water system works. Like I said, 25 litre water container. That's my fresh water coming in through these blue pipes. You use blue pipes because if you use clear pipe, where the sunlight come in here all the time, you can get algae growing in your water pipes. If you use this blue food safe stuff, you don't get algae growing in it, which is a much better idea. Through this little foot pump down the bottom here, up and out the tap in my sink. I'll show you that in a minute. When I'm done in the sink, the water runs down this black pipe at the back and it runs into a waste tank there. Same size. I don't fill it up though. I don't put a lot of wastewater in there. Then I can just responsibly get rid of that. I pour that away somewhere else when I'm done. I'll show you a little tip as well if you do a system like this. Here's a little tip for you. Oh, a bit of water left in it. Right. If you put a bit of copper pipe on there, look. I suddenly held in with the Jubilee clip above and below it and fixed and just pushed into that pipe. Drill a hole through the lid of the water container. If you look, that pipe's just the right length. That fit down at the bottom of the tank there, you see. That fit down at the bottom of the tank there, so that make it easy then. You can suck the water right out, right to the bottom of the water tank. You don't waste any then. If you just put a bit of rubber hose in there, that'll curl up in the bottom and that'll sit in there all funny, and then you won't be able to pump all the water out. See? Learned that trick a little while back. So yeah, you screw that in there, look. The water pump will pick it up, you work that with your foot, and it comes out of a tap in my sink, and hey presto. Right. Oh, let's see if I can get back up. We'll show you the water pump. Now look, all you have to do, press like that, and you can hear that coming out the tap at the top there. That's ever so easy, isn't it? Much easier than electric pumps. I like my van to be nice and simple, then there ain't nothing to go wrong, and there ain't nothing to have to fix when it's packed up or the electrics don't work or whatever. So hence why I've got a foot pump, you see. That make life easier for them. Right then, let me show you how the foot pump works. Look, that's a tap. That's not even a tap. Mate of mine, that's a plumber. He's out there, Graham. Thank you very much, mate. A long while ago, he bent me that just a piece of 15mm copper pipe, you see. And he bent it round like that for me. Because with a foot pump, because there's two little non-return valves, I don't even need a tap. I can do it that way. So if you look at, I pump that. Easy as that. Out come the water, you see. Now, one of the beauties of these foot pumps, if you watch, I can do the tiniest little trickle out of that tap if I want to. Just the merest little trickle. There. You try that with one of your clever newfangled electric pumps. You won't manage that, I promise you. These two bottles on the side here, look, one's got washing up liquid, one's got plain water. I'll show you them in a minute. That, would you believe, is for washing up. I wash up with nearly no water. That's genius. It's not my idea, but that's a good idea. Right then. That's that bit for you. That's how the tap works. Right, I thought I'd show you a few little ideas for saving a bit of water next, because once you've got your water, you want to try and make it last as long as you can. So that's what I'll show you now. Right then, this is what you need to do your washing up, you see. You need a couple of these cheap spray bottles, and they ain't got to be expensive ones, garden centres and pound shops and all kinds of places you can get these, get them ever so cheap. You got one here, that's got a green solution in it, because that's got washing up liquid and water. Make it fairly strong, that one will work properly, don't skimp on the washing up liquid. This one here, look, that's just clear in the bottom, because this fella here's just got ordinary tap water in it. Ordinary plain water. Of course you want your washing up sponge and you want the sink to wash up in. You do it this way though, I don't need to fill this sink up with water. I don't fill my sink up with water very often, because to fill that right at the very top takes 9 litres of water. 9 litres. That's about a third of one of my water bottles gone. Even if you half fill it, that's 4 or 5 litres. So you see, that's an awful lot of water just to do a bit of washing up. This way, you see, with the spray bottles, you can wash up a lot quicker. Although, hand on heart, the spray bottle method's not down to me. I got it off a very good YouTube channel called, I think that's called Cheap RV Living. Bob, I think, is the chap that does that in America. He had this idea. That's genius, I tell you. Makes life much better. Anyway, that's what you need to do your washing up with. I'll show you how it works in just a second. Right then, I'll show you how to wash up. That's a little bit awkward. I'm working over the top of the camera, but we'll make the best of it, don't worry. As you can see, a couple of little bits left from breakfast. Look. Got 2 bottles. First bottle here, you can see with the green colour, that's got some washing up liquid and water in it. So what we do, we give out a spray like that. We grab a washing up sponge, give him a good scrub round, scrub like that, you see. And then this bottle here, that's just got plain water in it. Garden spray bottles. Get them cheap from B&M and all kinds of places. Hashtag B&M do not sponsor me. Right, that's that done, you see. Quick as that. They're ready to be dried off. Another teaspoon. Squirt, squirt. Just like that. Look, careful you don't spray it everywhere. Little once round with the sponge. Give it a little rinse and that's done. Let's try something hard. Let's try my bowl of breakfast water. Shall we? Look. So, that little spray. Like that. Get my sponge, give it a good once round like that on the washing up sponge, get it all clean. Still cleaning it, you're still washing it with soapy water. You're just washing it in a lot less soapy water. Round, around, around like that. Get my squirty bottle, clean water, rinse it all off. Whoops, hey presto. See, wash that up in a tiny little bit of water. Coffee cup the same. Just a little squirt of soapy water. There you are. Little once over with the sponge. Just like that, see? And give it a little rinse. Just like that. Little rinse round. Hey presto, we wash that up in a tiny little bit of water. Same with this, look. Wash. Give a rinse. Just like that. Ever so easy. Oops, oh, wrong bottle, the one that ain't washing off. Got to get your bottles right. Got it mixed up then. There's one for the blooper reel. They are, look, all rinsed off, all done. Dry them off, and your washing up's done. And you're only using a tiny little bit of water. That's clever, isn't it? Right then, another little trick, look. When you heat up your water for your coffee, let's say, in your AeroPress like I make it, if you just heat up, oops. Ooh. See if I can get it right. If I need 200 mils of water to make me coffee. Oh, look at that. Look, I'm getting good, ain't I? We'll put just a little more. Just a little drop more. About 210. Look at that. Am I good or what? You see, you heat up just enough water to make your coffee. You don't heat up the whole kettle full that you don't need, and then because you've got to travel, you have to pour half of it away, because then you're just wasting yourself water. So you just heat up what you need. Look, 200 milliliters. Oh, I'm touching it. Look. I need 200 mils, that's 200 grams of water. Well, I heat up just what I need, and then I know that I'm not wasting any water making my coffee as well, you see? That's clever, isn't it? When you have your pop-up shower in your van, have a navy shower. You only need 3 litres of water. And yes, I really do shower in just 3 litres of water in my van. And no, you're not going to see any more than this of me. Sorry, girls. Right then, how'd you like the video? Hope I learned you something. Where I get this stuff from, and I do my best not to use it. So there's not much more to say really, just the usual thing. Tap the little buttons down the bottom there, hit the like and subscribe, I really appreciate that. Pop me a comment down there, I love to read them. Where do you find your water when you're out and about? You got any ways you've got to save in water so you don't use as much? Hey, the old spray bottle thingy there for washing up. How'd you get on with it, hey? Did you do all that sort of thing? Let me know in the comments down the bottom there. I'll give them a read, I'll give them a comment back. Don't you worry, boy. Right then, there's not much more to say this week, other than to you all take care together. Mind what you get up to. We'll see you next week. You all take care now. Cheers. Oh, a lovely drop of water. See you later all. Take care. Bye. And don't forget, park safe, park legal, and don't park on the boy. I'll be seeing you about together. You take care now. Bye. Full house. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Eyes down for full house. We'll crouch down again, knees are going to hurt like hell. Don't worry, we'll be fine. No bugger walking a dog, we'll be alright. Oh shit. Mic check, 1 2, mic check. If this hasn't recorded, I swear to God, I'm going to throw the microphone across the van. Don't buy cheap microphones, they don't work very right. Mic check. We'll have one last little go for a giggle. Here we are then. Oh, my bloody knees again. Right then, all quiet. Right, if I get my hoof and grip knee out of the way, let's show you how the water's. Good morning. How you all doing? I hope you're all. There you are, there's a little treat for you. I thought I'd stick some bloopers on the end here, because I make this YouTube stuff look easy, don't I? If only you knew the truth, how many times I muck it up. There you go, just watch to see who'd watch right to the end. Bye.